And this question is, what's the optimal budget for Google? So how much money should I spend on Google every given month? The best way that I can actually help answer this question is to say, if this is your first time getting into internet lead generation and you've never done it before, which means that you really need to first learn actually how to work with internet leads before you can make sure that you know 100% they work. The first thing that I would do before you actually get on internet leads is to do all the research that you can about how internet leads work. If you go to YouTube and search AgentLocator in the YouTube channel, we've got a bunch of videos that you can actually watch to help yourself understand how to actually work with these leads. So, you know, if you say you've been an agent for 20 years and you have a fairly decent idea of how to work with leads, the biggest problem that you're going to find with internet leads is, truthfully, they have the best way to actually deal with them is, the best way for me to describe internet leads is to say this. Imagine if I could say to you, here's a list of people, here's a list of 100 people that I know have been thinking about buying or selling a home because they were on Google searching for it, but they have no idea that you're going to call them. How well would you do without this, right? And that depends on how your approach is, because if your approach makes people back off, then it's going to fail. It's not going to work. But if your approach is from a helping perspective, then it just makes it a little bit easier for people to work with you. So we've got a really interesting way to help you understand how to work with these leads. And then you can kind of determine for yourself, okay, well, how much money should I spend to be able to generate these leads? And the best way to answer that question would be to say to you, okay, how much can you spend over the next 12 months without making any money back? Primarily because most agents don't make a ton of money until, let's say, the 6th month into the process. Because if you think about it, most of these leads that come into the pipeline are at the very beginning process of their buying or selling their home. So there's a decent amount of convincing that needs to happen. Even when that happens, the closing date is going to be, sometimes 2-3 months away from where you're at. So even if you get a lead by your 6th month that ends up, working with you, you may not get your money back until the 9th or 10th month. So how much could you spend over the next 12 months where you're not going to have a big impact on your business, and you'll be able to sustain your life and be able to pay all your bills? And that could be a number. Just keep one thing in mind. In order for you to truly determine whether internet leads are good enough, internet leads have always been about quantity. They've never been about quality. So we need to get as many leads as we can, to go through them as fast as we can to get to the few that are good. So that magic number for leads is about 100, 120 leads. So stay with the system until you get about 120 leads that you've made sure you've actually spoken to and called every single one of them. Whether you have a good number or a bad number, you have to try to work the lead as best you can. All right, thank you so much.